Good morning, children. In your previous class, you studied about the animal fibers and about the wool and silk and animals that yield the wool and about the fibers to wool and rearing and breeding of a sheep. And today in this class, we will study about the processing fibers into wool. See children, the wool which is used for knitting sweaters or for weaving the shawls is the finished product of a long process which involves the following steps. See, the wool is used for knitting of sweaters or for weaving the shawls. It is the finished product of a long process which involves the following steps. First step is the fleece of the sheep along with the thin layer of a skin is removed from its body. See, the fleece means the hair of the sheep along with the thin layer of a skin is removed from its body. See, it is shown in the figure here. And this process is called as the shearing. Shearing means here the hair of the sheep along with the thin layer of the skin is removed from the sheep's body, and this process is called as the shearing. The machines similar to those used by the barbers are used to shave off hair. See children, here the machines similar to those used by the barbers. Barbers means who will cut the hair, are used to shave off hair, and usually hairs are removed during the hot weather, and this enables the sheep to survive without their protective coat of hair. And this enables the sheep to survive without the protective coat of hair. The hair provides the woolen fiber. See children, from the hair of the sheep we will get the woolen fibers. See, shearing means the hair of the sheep along with the thin layer of the skin is removed from the sheep's body. It is called as the shearing. For shearing, the machines similar to those used by the barbers, they are used for the shearing here, means to remove the hair of the sheep and thin layer of the skin of the sheep. And usually the hairs are removed during the hot weather, means during the summer season, and this enables the sheep to survive without their protective coat of a hair, and the hair provides the woolen fibers. Next, the woolen fibers are then processed to obtain the woolen yarn. Woolen yarn means the thread. The woolen fibers are then processed to obtain the woolen yarn. Shearing does not hurt the sheep. Shearing, when the hair is and the thin layer of the skin of the sheep is removed, it will not hurt the sheep. Just as it does not hurt when you get a haircut on or your father shaves his beard. See children, when you go for a haircut, you will not be hurted. Just like only the sheep, when the hairs and the thin layer of the skin is removed, the sheep will also not get hurt. See children, and do you know why this happens? Because the uppermost layer of the skin is dead. The uppermost layer of the skin is dead. Therefore, you will not be hurted. Also, the hair of the sheep grow again just as your hair does. See, when you remove your hair and after some days it will grow again. Similarly, the hair of the sheep after removing also it will grow as your hair grows. Next step is the sheared skin with hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove the grease, dust and dirt. See here the sheared skin with the hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove thoroughly the grease, dust and hair. Grease means it is a animal fat which is slightly sticky wax coating. It is a animal fat children. Grease means, and to remove the grease, dust and dirt, it is thoroughly washed in tanks, and this is called as the scouring. Scouring means here the sheared skin with the hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove the grease, dust and dirt. It is called as the scouring, and nowadays scouring is done by machines. See children, here the figure has been given scouring by tanks. Here nowadays the scouring is done by the machines. See children, this is the machine here. The scouring is done by the machine. Scouring means here the sheared skin with the hair is thoroughly washed in a tanks. Why it is washed means to remove the grease, dust and dirt. For this we will call it as a scouring. Next, step 3. After scouring, sorting is done. The next step is sorting. Here the hairy skin is sent to a factory. The hairy skin is sent to a factory where hair of a different textures are separated or sorted. See children, after scouring, sorting is done. Sorting means the hairy skin is sent to a factory where hairs of a different textures are separated or sorted. Here in sorting, the hairy skin of a sheep, it is sent to a factory where the hairs of a different textures, they are separated or sorted. Step 4, the small fluffy fibers called burrs, they are picked out from the hair. These are the same burrs which sometimes appear on your sweaters. See children, the small fluffy fibers. Fluffy means the soft and soft like a wool. It is called as a fluffy. The small fluffy fibers called burrs are picked out from the hair. These are the same burrs which sometimes appear on your sweaters. The fibers are scoured again and dried. This is the wool ready to be drawn into fibers. See children, in step 4, first the small fluffy fibers called burrs are picked out from the hair, and these are the same burrs which sometimes appear on your sweaters, and the fibers are scoured again and dried here. See, again the fibers are scoured again and dried. Here the fibers are scoured means again the hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove the grease, dust and dirt, and then it is dried. This is the wool ready to be drawn into fibers, and this wool is ready to which can be drawn into fibers. Next, step 5. The fibers can be dyed in various colors as the natural fleece of sheep and goats is black, brown or white. See children, the sheep and goats hair will be in black, brown or white in color, and it can be dyed into different colors by various colors. We can change the colors of the sheep's hair. Next step is the fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into yarn. Here the fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into yarn. See figure D here, rolling into yarn it is. And the longer fibers are made into wool for sweaters, and the shorter fibers spun and woven into the woolen cloth. Here the longer fibers, they are made into wool. For sweaters, the longer fibers are made into wool. They are used for knitting the sweaters, and the shorter fibers, they are spun and woven into the woolen cloth. The shorter fibers are used to woven the cloth here. Next, here the figures have been given children here. It is a shearing a sheep and scouring by tanks, scouring by machines, and it is the rolling into yarn. Here the process of fiber into wool can be represented as this. You remember children, first step is shearing, next is scouring, sorting, cleaning of goods, dyeing and rolling. The processing of fiber into wool, it can be represented as a shearing, scouring, sorting, cleaning of goods, dyeing and then rolling. And then fibers are ready. Next, we will study about the life history of a silk moth. See children, the female silk moth lays the eggs from which hatch the larvae, which are called as the caterpillars or silk worms. See children, the female silk moth, it lays the eggs from which hatch the larvae, which are called as the caterpillars or silkworms. Larvae means it is the newly hatched worm like a form. It is a newly hatched worm like a form, children, and we call it as a caterpillars or a silkworms. They grow in size, and when the caterpillar is ready to enter the next stage of its life history called pupa, it first weaves a net to hold itself. See children, they grow in after hatching the larvae, which are called as the caterpillars or silkworms. They grow in size, and when the caterpillars is ready to enter the next stage of its life history called pupa, the next stage will be the pupa, and it first weaves a net to hold itself. It weaves a net to hold itself, and then it swings its head from side to side in the form of the figure of 8. See children, here the caterpillar is ready to enter the next stage of its life history called pupa, and then it first weaves a net to hold itself, and then it swings itself head and from its side to side in the form of the figure. See children, in the figure of 8, it means the 8 like structure it will be. It swings its head from side to side in the form of 8 structure. And during these movements of the head, the caterpillar secretes fiber made of a protein which hardens on exposure to air and becomes silk fiber. See children, during the movements of the head, here the caterpillar secretes the fiber which is made up of a protein and which hardens on exposure to air, and when it exposes to air, it becomes hard and becomes a silk fiber, and soon the caterpillar completely covers itself by silk fibers, and soon the caterpillar completely covers itself by the silk fibers and turns into pupa, and this covering is known as a cocoon. Cocoon means here the caterpillar completely covers itself by silk fibers and turns into pupa, and for this covering it is known as a cocoon. The further development of the pupa into moth continues inside the cocoon. The further development of the pupa into the moth, it continues inside the cocoon. See the figure here children, cocoon here, it is a cocoon, and silk fibers are used for weaving the silk moth. The silk fibers, they are used for weaving the silk cloth. Here first one is a male, female, eggs on mulberry leaves. See children, here the eggs on a mulberry leaves, it is a silkworm cocoon, and next is a cocoon with a developing moth. Here it is a cocoon with a developing moth. See, the further development of the pupa into moth continues inside the cocoon here. See children, here it has been shown in the figure here, and silk fibers, they are used for weaving the silk moth. These are both the adult silk moths, male and female adult silk moths. These are the eggs on the mulberry leaves. Next is a silkworm cocoon, and then cocoon with the developing silk moth. See children, can you imagine that the soft silk yarn is as strong as a comparable thread or a steel? See children, the soft silk thread, it is as strong as a comparable thread of a steel, and the silk yarn means the silk thread is obtained from the cocoon of a silk moth, and there is a variety of silk moths which look very different from one another, and the silk yarn that yield is different in texture, that is coarse, hard, hard, smooth, shiny, etc. See children, the soft silk thread is as strong as the thread of a steel, and the silk thread is obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth, and there is a variety of silk moths which look very different from one another. See children, the silk moths are of different kinds and they look different from one another, and the silk thread, the yield is different in texture, means some silk threads are hard, smooth, and some are shiny. Thus tassar silk, muga silk, kosa silk, etc., these are obtained from the cocoons spun by different types of moths. See children, the tassar silk, muga silk, kosa silk, etc., these are different types of silks. These are obtained from cocoons spun by different types of silk moths. And the most common silk moth is the Malabari silk moth. The most common silk moth, it is the Malabari silk moth. The silk fiber from the cocoon of this moth is soft. The Malabari silk moth, the silk fiber which is obtained from the cocoon of the Malabari silk moth, it is soft, lustrous. Lustrous means it will be shining, and elastic. Elastic and can be dyed in beautiful colors. Dyed means we can change the color here in beautiful colors. And sericulture or culture of a silkworms is a very old occupation in India. Sericulture or culture of the silkworms is a very old occupation in India, and India produces a plenty of a silk on a commercial scale. See children, here the sericulture or the culture of silkworms. Culture of silkworms, it is a sericulture. It is a very old occupation in India, and India produces plenty of a silk on a commercial scale. Commercial scale means for a selling purpose. And the wool industry, it is an important means of a livelihood for many people in our country. Means here the wool industry, it is an important means of a livelihood for many people in our country. Children, many people works in the wool industry, and but sorter's job is risky as sometimes they get infected by a bacterium anthrax. Children who are working in the wool industry, they are sometimes they get infected by a bacterium called as a anthrax, and which causes a fatal blood disease called a sorter's disease. And such risks they are faced by the workers in any industry. They are called as a occupational hazards. Occupational hazard means it is a disease which is caused by a bacterium called anthrax for the people who are working in a wool industry. For this disease, we call it as a occupational hazards. See children, till now we studied about the different steps of the silk fibers, about the processing of the fibers into wool, and we also studied about the silk and the life history of a silk moth. See children, the silk fibers, they are also the animal fibers, and silk fibers spin the silk. The silkworms spin the silk fibers, and the rearing of silkworms for obtaining the silk, it is called as a sericulture. Sericulture means the rearing of the silkworms for obtaining the silk. For this we call it as a sericulture. Understood children? Sericulture means the rearing of the silkworms. Rearing means here the silkworms are taken care under a appropriate temperature and humidity. For the, and here for obtaining silk they are reared. For this we call it as a sericulture. And you can find out from your mother or aunt or grandmother the kind of a silk sarees they have, and you can list the kinds of a silk children. You take this as a activity. See, till now we studied about the life history of a silk moth also, and the processing the fibers into silk. Next concepts we will study in our next class. Thank you.